this last key skill, the very last one, we're just going to be looking at bringing together the previous two key skills in terms of we're going to have brackets together with fractions. Now, like we talked about before, you should always do inside your brackets first. So, for example, x to the power of 8 divided by x to the power of 5, you want to subtract your powers. So 8 minus 5, all of that's going to be to power 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now, when you have brackets, you need to multiply. So x to the 3 times by 3 gives you a final answer of x to the power of 9. And you're done. So inside the bracket first, work it as much as you can, and then times all of your powers with the outside number. So now we're going to have numbers and x's inside our bracket. So let's deal with that first. We separate out the numbers 16 over 40. Both of those are in the 8 times table. So 8 goes into 16 twice. 8 goes into 45 times. So I've cancelled down my fraction. Now for my x power 5, x power 3, if I'm dividing, I subtract the powers. So I do 5 minus 3. I haven't worked with the 2 on the outside, but I'm just leaving it there for the next step. 5 over 3 is 2, which means I've got x power 2, or more commonly, x squared. Now here, this 2 on the outside, that needs to power everything inside. So I'm going to have 2 squared divided by 5 squared. Remember those imaginary ones, if that helps you. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. And here it's going to be 2 times 2, which will be x power 4. 2 squared is 4. Over 5 squared is 25 times by x power 4. The final step to tidy up is to say that would be 4x power 4 divided by 25. So quick recap on what we did. We cancelled down the numbers and we subtracted the powers. Once we had our final answer, we made sure that number outside the bracket powered every single thing inside. 2 squared, 5 squared, and the 2 times 2 will be the 4. Afterwards, we just simplified it down a little bit and tidied it up. So now we've got multiple things going on. We've got a negative power here outside the bracket, some tidying up that needs to be done inside the bracket, and some multiplication on the outside with the x. So remember the bid mass, we're always going to start with inside that bracket, tidying it up as much as possible. By now you're knowing the drill. We need to start with the numbers 15 and 5, which are both in the 5 times table. So we can cancel down 15 over 5 down to 3. And that's because 15 divided by 5 is 3. Then we've got x to the power of 7 divided by x to the power of 6. Now we subtract those powers when we're dividing, and we have here a minus 2 on the outside. We're going to deal with that in a second. 7 minus 6 is 1. And we can also put a 1 on the 3 to remind ourselves to multiply. Now we've tidied up inside the bracket as much as possible. The next thing we're going to do is go outside the bracket. Remember, bid mass, we're not going to do this multiplying with the x until the end. So we're going to have x here. 1 times minus 2 is 3 power minus 2. And the 1 we're going to multiply with the minus 2 as well. So we're going to have here x power minus 2. The next step is going to be to reorder it a little bit. You always want your numbers in front and your x's together. So remember, if it's a negative power, you have to flip it upside down. So I'm going to have 1 over 3 squared. If you're multiplying, you need to add the powers. So minus 2 plus 1 is x power minus 1. And again, we've got another negative power, so we're going to flip that upside down as well. So we're going to have 3 squared times by 1 over x power 1. So anytime you have a negative, just flip it onto the bottom. 1 over 3 squared is 1 over 9 times by x power 1 is the same as x. So my final answer here is going to be 1 times 1 and 9 times x, which will be 9x. This is the last question in the whole series about indices. So I hope if you've managed to stay with us to the end, good job. Last, but maybe the most difficult question, let's see. Start always inside your bracket. 27 and 64. I can't do any cancelling there, so I'm just going to leave it. 27 over 64. Now, I've got an x12 divided by an x9, so I'm going to subtract the powers. Remember, divide is subtract. 12 minus 9 is 3. If I tidy that up inside the bracket, I would have, I can put an over 1 here. So I'd have 27 x cubed over 64. And on the outside, I've got a power minus 1/3. So I've done as much as I can do inside the bracket, and I'm going to move on to outside the bracket. The first thing I always do with a power is if it's a minus, it's going to flip everything upside down. So I'm going to change 27x cubed being on the top to being on the bottom, and put the 64 on the top. That allows me to get rid of the minus in the power. Now I'm going to put that 1/3 on each number or thing inside the bracket separately. So I'm going to have 64 power 1/3 divided by 27 power 1/3. So here I'm going to multiply them. I'm going to multiply the 3 times by 1/3. Or remember, 3 over 1 times by 1/3. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So last thing we need to do is tidy up the numbers. Remember, bottom number is the root. So we want the cube root of 64, or 64 power 1, divided by the cube root of 27. And we've got our x, or x power 1 here. Cube root of 64 is 4. Cube root of 27 is 3. And that's our x. So it ended up being very small after lots and lots of tidying up. Quick recap. We couldn't cancel down, but we could work out x to 12 divided by x to 9 was x to 3. Put it all together. Because of the minus, we flipped upside down. So then we put the 1/3 on each thing separately. 64 is 64 to the power of 1, so 1 times 1/3 is 1/3. 1 times 1/3 is 1/3. 3 times 1/3 was 1. Then we remembered that the bottom number refers to the root, so we worked out the cube root of 64, the cube root of 27, and then we got to the end. Big congratulations to everyone that's got to the end and done all of the key skills. You are absolutely amazing. I hope now you're going to go and do all the questions that are in our ebook, and also work your way through your workbook and doing all the past paper questions. The next series we're going to be doing is 2.2, which is going to be surds, everything about square roots and how to deal with them. So I hope you stick around and watch for that. Please like and subscribe for more content. We would love that. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in 2.2. Bye for now. The team at Maths with Sophie have made a free ebook to go with this video series. We've broken the topic down into small, manageable sections. Each section has a video tutorial that you're already watching, interactive questions, and model solutions from exam questions. To claim your free ebook, you don't need to download anything, you don't need to sign up for anything. You simply click the link below and it will open in the web browser of your phone, tablet, or computer. If you enjoy using our free ebooks, make sure you check out our website because we have other ebooks on different topics.